and welcome. Finally, I'm going to start doing the videos of my project. I have a Clubman Mini from 1974 from South Africa. The reason why I went with this Clubman because it was rust-free, no rust whatsoever, even better than a Japanese Mini, more engine space and all the stuff. I want to do my review about what you get from Ulrich Design or John Mcgee Kit. As you can see, I purchased this kit. The main reason was that I was able to run an electric AC on it. That was the biggest selling point of this car. It comes with a big alternator, 200 amp output alternator from a Chevy engine. And let's see what it came. The kit came out to be, it was a direct, when I spoke to John, what I was trying to do was save time. Money was never an issue. So I wanted to get a bolting kit. Everything on it ready to plug in and be ready to go. So for $18,000, let's see what you get if you pay for that amount of money. Let's go. The whole point of it was that I was going to get a kit that came right away. The only thing that I had to do was to plug in 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the first thing was I sent the engine to get shipped to a local body shop. I purchased the kit back in January of 2023. It took 7 months for them to dispatch the whole kit to me, to Miami. So it was at the shop. I reserved the shop for a week. Meaning reserved the shop was I was able to use their lift, their tools and everything. Because realistically, it was supposed to be super easy. All I had to do was put the frame and be done with it. As soon as I got the kit, the first problem we're running into when we're trying to mount the stuff is that he did not send the bolts or the plate. He told me what size to get. I bought it myself from Bolt Depot overnight. And then also what it was missing was, but he sent it to me right away, were these ones that goes on, because mine was the original 2 screws instead of a single bolt. So he sent this to me directly from Send Cut Send. I paid for it on the kit. So that was our first issue. That sent me back, like I had to pay like an extra, almost another 4 days. So that sent me back like another week at the shop at the end of the day. Waiting for the parts to arrive. The car was on the lift, blah, blah, blah. It is what it is. Then I had the car sent to me in a tow truck to my house. Perfect. Let's keep going. The next thing was to install the wiring harness into the car and the fuse box that comes with it from the wiring harness. You will say, why is everything out? Fun fact, after 2.5 years of me trying to get the car going, when I came back from the mini meet in North Carolina, was it? Tennessee, the Tilted Dragon, I spoke to John. I'm like, hey, I had it with this kid, too many problems. I want to send it back to you. He told me, that's fine. I'm going to put it in a crate. I'll pay for the shipping coming and going. I'll eat the shipping. You fund me my money, not a problem. So I'll post a couple pictures. So I built it. I bought a crate, put it together, pack everything together, and it was ready to be shipped over there to him. But then he told me he wasn't going to refund me my money. Then we tried to get into, all right, let's work this out. You do this, do that. But at the end, we couldn't agree to a number from his side or from my side. And then what I say was like, you know what? I don't want the car. None of my local friends want it either, fortunately, because I wanted to give it away to my local friends. Well, what I'm going to do is there's parts that are broken on the engine. I'll get to it in a second, but I am going to fix it. I want to find out exactly what was wrong with it. All right, let's keep going. After I got the car, the wiring harness, I got the wiring harness, put it, install, and all the parts to it, and get ready to fire the engine. The problem was I wasn't getting any fuel pressure. Quick pro tip, whatever you're going to do with the car, make sure that you have a low, unless you know how to do it or not. We went with the Honda. It was so hard for me to find out someone who does Honda in my area. Most people already retired. Honda was from like 20 years ago. Everybody does Vtec or Fuel Tech or any other thing. A few of the shops were like, oh, send the car to me, we'll tune it. I'm like, dude, I can't even get it to start. On the forum for the Honda D-Series engines, I was able to find someone. So kid came over, very inexpensive, like $50 an hour to troubleshoot the problems. So there was a problem with the knock sensor. Before we can get to the fuel pressure, we were not getting power to the computer. There was an issue with the power. There was a ground issue. So we were fixing it. Kid came over, spent the whole day, a couple $100, I don't know, $300, not a big deal. Came over, found out the issue. He was able to get me power to the ECU. Once we got power to the ECU, then we were not getting the fuel pressure regulator. So I went through another mechanic also. The other mechanic came and was able to, there was a problem with one of the cables. The knock sensor or something was backwards, something, figure it out. And then that was it. I was getting fuel pressure, but that was it. Nothing else, no ignition, nothing. That was another couple hundred. That wasn't much. That was like another $200-$300. Then I found a third mechanic, great guy, very knowledgeable, knows Honda, all the systems in and out. He likes to build engines for hobby for the past 30 years. He started going through the wire harness. We started troubleshooting. No joke. Every single cable was backwards. Almost every cable didn't match what it was on it. He can't even make this up. So I spoke to John. John told me that out of the last 10 harnesses that he purchased, all 7 of them had problems. One of them fried an ECU for him. So I did reach out to Wireworks. That's another thing. It's like a $900 harness. I reached out to Wireworks, but because I didn't purchase a harness from them, they want to support it. That's another thing. But John, I cut it on pieces. He told me, just send it to me on pieces. Don't worry, just cut it. I'll send you a new one. So he did that. Send it to him. That's where going back like a year later. That sent me back big time. The whole troubleshooting the harness was driving me nuts. So send it to him. Send me the new harness. Put it in. Boom. Everything started working. Fuel pressure, all these things. Then the engine started moving, but it wouldn't turn on. Like I wasn't getting a spark. Didn't know what to do. Called my guy again. The guy came over, and this little plug over here was defective. So it wasn't going all the way in. On the Honda, I was saying that it wasn't reading from the distributor. So $13 part was bad on the connector. Here it is. So $13. We got it in. Voila. Now we're getting a spark. The engine fired up right away. Fired up, but it wouldn't idle. All over the place, whatever. On the Honda, he was telling me the first error that we're having was the map sensor was bad. All right. So let's buy the most expensive map sensor that you can get. It was like $70. That was from Delphi. Oh, hold on. Let me get that one really quick. Here's the Delphi sensor. It happens, I guess. So got the map sensor. Replaced it. Voila. Now, once we replace this, the engine started finally idling. All right. Now that we idle the car, as soon as we turn on the car, the first day I turned it on, the amount of oil that it was leaking all over the engine, it was insane. Started leaking oil like crazy from all over the place. It was the funniest thing. I'm like, how? Best thing we ever purchased was on my local auto store for, I think it's $8, $6, a pan because the engine was leaking oil like crazy. So I reached out to John. I'm like, hey, I think the rear main seal is bad on it. He goes, oh no, it's a brand new rear main seal. I'm like, dude, it's leaking oil all over the place. All the gaskets have been replaced. And I'm like, didn't want to take the apart because I had to take out the transmission, whatever, to check the rear main seal. But it was leaking even oil from the top anyhow. Every time it was leaking less. So I was like, all right, a little bit less. It was still leaking oil. So we got past that. So now the engine turns on, it idles, it wouldn't rev. We're having a problem with the revving. On the Honda, there's a problem with the distributor too. So that was my next thing. So spoke to John. I'm like, hey, I think the distributor's bad, whatever. No, everything looks, but they're refurbished. You never know. There was a problem with the plug. So the next thing was, let's upgrade to a Diggy DC. So we did that. And you pretty much take this out and we take this off. And here we are. A Diggy DC. It doesn't matter. So the car hasn't even left. We haven't even moved the car where we had to do $1,000 upgrade. Getting it through John supposedly is cheaper than going through Diggy DC itself. It was $940 plus another couple $100 that I had to spend on my own, I think, on the cold packs and spark plugs from eBay. All right, let's keep going. Now the engine turns on, it idles, and it revs. We have to replace a map sensor, distributor with the Diggy DC. We're good to go. What else could go wrong with it? Alternator. Remember, the whole selling point of this kit was to have a 250 amp alternator kit on it. Here it is. It was spinning, but it wasn't charging. So I started doing my research on the alternators, spoke to John. He told me self-exciting, so as soon as it hits a certain RPM, it'll start charging. Did a bunch of videos online. Says I spoke to my mechanic, like, Lewis, I don't think so. This one, you need to have the actual plug that will actuate the alternator. Not a big deal, $10. Bought the plug on Amazon. Oh, I spoke to Andy about it. Andy told me you have to ground the alternator. All right, so we grounded the alternator, put the plug, put in the power. So as soon as you put the plug on it, and this thing engages the alternator, and the alternator engages to start turning on, smoke was coming out. Like, the Honda couldn't even move this alternator. So I spoke to John. I'm like, hey, I'm having all this problem, whatever. Don't worry. I'll send you an alternator free of charge. Cool. Not a problem. Alternator number 2. Here it is. Next problem. So I got the alternator, comes with a plug, as you can see it. Put it on. Right away. First problem that I run into, when I took it apart, it didn't have the rear washer for the pulley. How this one came from factory. So it was missing the pulley. So when I pulled it off, I guess they put it in so tight that it stripped. We're able to get the nut off for the pulley. It got damaged, the pulley. So now it's in a wavy oval shape, not in a circular shape anymore. So that didn't work anymore. I spoke to Andy about it. Andy told me, hey, we have figured out that this thing doesn't work. We cannot do, the engine doesn't have the power to move the alternator. So I guess I bought an improved project, concept, whatever you want to call this. He did send me, I'm like, look, we'll figure it out later. Just send me the new bracket. I'll buy the rest of the stuff. Let's keep going with the parts. He sent me the new bracket, free of charge. He did a charge rate for this one. And I went ahead and myself, I went to eBay and I bought a Delso, whatever, 90 amp alternator, what they've been using forever. And it worked. So this one does work. Perfect. So we're already like a year and a half into it. So it took a lot of problems to troubleshoot these things. So now we have a running engine that idles, that it revs. No more errors on the Honda, finally. We're able to clear all the problems. It came with a different throttle body. I replaced it for the different kind because the original one, the sensor goes on the top, and I don't like it. So this one is more slim, looks better. So I did upgrade this one. Next step, what was after that? Oh, another pro tip. Make sure that when you get your kit, this part's over here, test it before you, we have a lot of pictures, so this didn't fit. I had to buy the tool to make this thing wider to go in. According to them, everything was tested before it was shipped to me. But I don't know, we have so many problems, so not a big deal. So I've been on the ass, but I had to buy additional tools on Amazon to get it to work. So we got this going. Another thing also that it was missing over here, when I got it, I couldn't get the alternator, the radiator to work. I couldn't find the right angle. Oh my God, it was so hard. Like when I was trying to find the fitment everywhere, couldn't get the radiator to work. Spoke to him. I sent him pictures. I'm like, hey, I see that all your cars that you build, they have a radiator mount. And he's like, yeah, why don't you use a radiator mount that we sent to you? And I'm like, you didn't send me one. I took a bunch of pictures when I opened the box, so it's the crate and everything. So we find out that he never sent me one. So he sent it to me right away. And somehow it got lost. On the tracking, it says package has been lost on transition. So he sent me a second one. So that's like another couple more weeks. Got the second one. I got it right away as soon as he sent the second one. And then the other one came like a month later, out of nowhere, it showed up to my house. Another problem that I run into, the So then we're going to move on to the hoses. When you spend, I spent over $20,000. You have to figure out how to do the hoses. He sent you a hose kit, a bag of hoses that they really don't work. They're junk. At the end of the day, I just went to my local auto store and a bunch of hoses and trying to figure it out. Reason why it doesn't work. These are the little parts that bother because this could be sent to be already built. Like this one goes over here, that is this big, and it goes over here to this little one. So I had to find like a little adapters. Also for the coolant, whoosh, this one was a big one, a pain in the ass. To do because we're in a hot weather, so to do the delete of the coolant, they're all different sizes. So in order to get this, I had to make like my own little adapters to adapt the hoses on it to make it fit. And over here, I had to get like 2 different hoses adapter size on it for it to work. I wish. If he would have told me like, Louis, it's an extra $1,000 to send you hoses that fit and you don't have to spend time trying to figure it out to get it to work, I would have just paid for it. It is so hard to get this, to get the right length there. I just wanted to get going. That's the whole point why you go all out. All right, so we got that going. I bought the full brake line kit from them. So I bought all the brake lines. I tried to install it. And I'm like, there was no instructions at the time. He has now some really nice drawings. Super easy to do. I'm like, hey, how do I get the rear ones to connect? And he's like, oh, use the T on it, whatever. What T? You didn't send it to me. I had to go online on Amazon to buy them. So I guess when you pay, what, a few $100 for this thing, for the kit, another part that it was missing on the kit that I paid for it. This is the rear engine steady. It has 100 miles on it, not even. He did send me the new one, the upgraded one. It only lasted not even 100 miles and it broke. It was kicking like crazy. Going with the brakes. This thing over here, oh my God, what a pain in the ass too. Thank God for my local friends with the Mini community. Alfredo helped me out. This is a clutch adapter that goes from the Mini, classic Mini to the Honda. So it just fits in here. So it's supposed to go in here. Just to give you an example of it. This thing is supposed to go inside. The hole wasn't big enough to go through. So we have to Dremel the hole, make it bigger, whatever. Here's where Alfredo helped me out. He had to read the part. Another thing that they didn't even bother to see if it fitted or not. Little things like that set you up, that sets you back. What else? Oh, here's the other one. I'm going to get this from DB Cooper's. Beautiful thing. But for some reason, the shifter, I guess there's something wrong on the solder here or the angle, whatever, that it fits sideways. So instead of going straight on back, it's a little bit like if you're a little, instead of being on the car being like this, if you're a little bit sideways. Not a big deal. I got used to it. But when people were trying to try my car, it's like, Louis, why is it sideways? And I'm like, dude, there's something wrong with this thing. I know DB Cooper sells this part. I'm just going to get it from them. It's more adjustable too. I don't like the way it sits all the way. Shifter sits all the way in the front, not all the way to the back. I saw the guy from Canada has a longer length and everything. So I'm just going to get his because people that were trying to test drive my Minis all the way to the front. If you're a little guy, you're having a hard time. If you're a tall guy, you're good to go. So, okay. The car is ready for a test drive. So it's still leaking oil all over the place. But now the engine turns on, it idles. We had the regular alternator. We fixed all the missing parts, broken parts, and all these things. I was telling John, there's something wrong with the steering rack. There's something really wrong with the car. It drives like shit. He told me, once you get alignment, everything's going to be fine. I'm like, bro, you can't even turn on the car. It was super hard. I just get aligned. So I was trying to test drive the car in the house. It was undrivable. So got a tow truck. Couldn't find a place that would align it. So the place that I found for alignment was, somebody told me, find a Jeep place. I'm sure they'll be able to align it. So there was a local guy, a local shop that can do Jeeps. Call him up. I'm like, hey, I have a classic Mini over an hour. Oh, whatever, bring it over. Perfect. Send the tow truck. Super nice people. The guy started looking at it like, Louis, there's something wrong with your steering. Hold on. Let me look into it. It's like, I found the problem. You have 2 right arms. And I'm like, what do you mean you have 2 right arms? And I'm like, yeah, I guess when they put it together, they put the top arms to be the same side. Instead of having a left and a right, I'm like, bro, he can't be. Here it is. I'll send you the pictures. 2 right arms. This is a new one that I bought from Minis first, the left one. That looks new. This looks more like a used arm. and here's the right one. Exactly the same. It is harder to put the wrong arm building the car than actually putting the right arm. So remember, I paid a lot of extra money for them to put it together. Spoke to John. I'm like, bro, it can't be possible. Send him pictures. The guy was helping me out with the flashlight. I had to get that part overnight. Again, got it overnight, swapped out the arm. Oh my God. The steering on the car was perfect. Like, it was nothing, like, it felt like a regular Mini. I guess having two wrong arms would do it. I still don't know how that happened. They can't figure it out themselves. Okay. So now we have that. Then I bought some upgrades. Let me find, the car is still smoking a lot, and I'm dropping oil like crazy. Now, here's another problem. The clutch, the travel for the clutch and the brakes were terrible. So all of a sudden, hey, there's something wrong with the clutch, and all those things are like, oh no, you have to bleed it. You know, you're not doing the bleeding properly and all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, I cannot bleed this anymore. I bought the bleeding kit. I bought the bleeding kit with the compressor. I bought the self-bleeding kit with the gun. I did gravity bleeding. I think I did bleeding in 5 different ways. Couldn't get the clutch or the brakes to work properly. I started doing my research. These people have built a bunch of Minis. This is my original pedal box. He knows because when I send him the pictures, my car was drum brakes on the front. The shape of the pedals are different. Let me show you over here. The curve is a little bit less, so you have less travel for the clutch and for the brakes. A friend gave me a pedal box from a disc brake Mini. Problem fixed. I have brakes and I have a clutch, finally. So that's another issue that I ran into. Radiator. I was using the Reno radiator. He came out with the upgraded one. So I upgraded to his upgraded radiator. The car is overheating. Finally, I was able to start driving the car. I'm having overheating issues, mostly on the highway. Yes, I do haul ass. I was going super fast. I was taking the car up to 100 sometimes. Then the people were like, Lewis, if you're overheating on the highway, I spoke to him. I'm like, hey, having major problem with the radiator. It can't be. We have tested it in all the hot weathers and all those things. My overheating was that it was hitting the hit limit on the Honda, so it will turn into limp mode. I had to pull it aside, whatever, and all those things. Oh, you're doing the bleeding of the radiator the wrong way. One more time, I bought all the tools. I bought the special tools too. It doesn't get any more simple. When you wait for the car to turn on, you start eliminating the pressure, make sure there's no air in the lines. I bought we got that done. Then I'm like, a friend was like, I wonder you have a thermostat on it. So there was not a thermostat. So I had to put a thermostat. A thermostat did alleviate a lot of the problems, but it's still overheating. So I'm going to give it a second chance. Maybe, I don't know. I'm going to start again with a bigger radiator, again, in South Florida. I don't think that radiator is doing it for me. So we got that out of the way. For those that saw my Mini at the event up north, people didn't want to be around me because I was fumigating everybody behind me. I wasn't even smoking. I was fumigating at this point. So many people came up to me like, Louis, there's something wrong with the piston rings. I'm like, a lot of people. I spoke to my local guy. He told me, like, Louis, let's start with the head. Supposedly, the head is completely refurbished. So we're soon to find out. That's going to be my next video. Let me see what the head is. It was $450 to rebuild the head. The Vtec cylinder was like another $47. So supposedly it's a brand new, a rebuilt head. I'm going to make a video soon in the next few days, taking out the head apart. I'll put the video and I'll take you guys to the machine shop, like a badass machine shop. They're going to go through the head and let's see. Because it's true what my guy said, hey, let's start with the head. Maybe it could be something wrong with the head. It could be an easy fix. Then trying to go through the engine block. If we have to go take the engine block and change the piston rings and everything, anything is possible. The joke is that if it's the engine block and I have to take the tranny out and all those things, I may even have a used clutch. Who knows? So many parts have been broken. All the parts that I also bought for the extra money was, he made this plate for the ECU. Badass. Definitely get it. If you're going to mount the Honda, well worth it. This is for the inside the car. Great product, great quality, super thick. For sure, get it. It goes over here. inside the car. Badass. I got this part. I don't know why. I like to buy everything. When someone sells something supposedly to make my life easier, this goes inside by the engine, on the engine bay, on the back to cover everything. No, my thing. I looked into it. I didn't see the very thick, very expensive, very heavy. If you like that kind of thing, I think you're better off just wrapping out aluminum or something. It wasn't worth it for me. So there we go. That's everything. Next step is to take the engine apart, take it to the local shop, put it back together. I took the car running, put like about 400 miles over there in Tennessee for the Taylor Dragon for the Mini United events. People saw my car. Not happy when you have over $50,000. How can you have over $50,000? So it adds up quickly. For example, over $20,000 with him. A lot of parts that I had to buy. It's funny because you keep adding $100 on so many orders. When I checked a long time ago, I have about $7,400 of miscellaneous stuff from Amazon, whatever. Then the car did cost me like $6,000. I put the paint job was $5,000. I bought a brand new hood, the trunk, the roof, and the door panels to make it easier for the people at the shop. The radio system was about another $1,000 to $1,500. On my headlights, about another $1,500 between both headlights and the light bar. They're Morimoto, the ones on the top, but there's a ridgeline. Every single lens, cover, bumper, except for the windows, everything is brand new. All the door panels, all the lug nuts, all the bolts, every single screw, the dash pads, the carpet, everything is brand new on the car. You name it. Don't want the car. Let's see. Let's fix it. I'm going to get to the bottom of it. Let's see what's wrong with it. And that's it. Let's put a recap. I made a little, that way, let's see that we didn't forget any. Missing the big screws to mount the subframe from Bolt Depot. I had to buy that myself, even though I paid for it. Missing the tower bolt top subframe mounting plate. He did send it to me. The header hole that did not fit the cap back of the muffler. I had to buy tools to make it fit. Missing the radiator mount. He did send it to me later, but it didn't come in the kit. The Wireworks harness, that it was bad, like completely bad. That's the biggest setback. The distributor jumper harness from BD2 to a BD1, that it was bad. That was a $16, but send me back. The bad map sensor, I got a Delphi from Rock Auto. The bad distributor, so I had to upgrade to the Diggy DC. That's like another $1,000. A big oil leak that couldn't be the rear main seal. We find out that they didn't torque the screws for the valve cover. They just put the torque screws on the valve cover screws. They just put them on, but they were not screwed in. So that's where most of the oil was coming from. So yeah. What was that? I think there's like an extra couple $1,000 on it just to put it together. Oh, I forgot the fuel rail. The fuel rail came off and I started shooting fuel all over the place. There's 2 screws on the back of the fuel rail. They were there because when I took the pictures of it, but they didn't torque them to spec or they didn't screw them in all the way. They would just put on by hand. So they came loose, they fell, whatever. So I had fuel all over the place at one point. Thank God didn't catch on fire. The coolant hoses that don't fit, don't even bother. That bag of hoses, just go spend a couple of dollars, get all sizes at your local auto store and be done with it. It didn't come with vacuum lines. The vacuum lines for the air intake, whatever. You're going to have to get different sizes, adapters, whatever. It doesn't come with it. The big alternator assembly, that doesn't work. The pulley in the alternator was bad. I had to purchase another 90 amp, the small alternator. Replace the alternator. I had to replace the alternator mounts. The clutch adapter that didn't fit on the hole. The brake line missing the T-kit, the T-connector. He also came with an extra brake line that nobody knows what it is for. You couldn't figure it out. Either way. The shifter is sideways a little bit, so it's annoying. And the biggest one was the front suspension top arm, that they were both the same size. Big deal, big problem. That was the one that made me like lose it on it. Oh, and another thing, when you buy this, I think this is $400 or change. It doesn't come with the hardware. To find the screws that match these things, oh my God, and they don't know the size, so I had to go on Amazon and buy different lengths and sizes, kits adapt. It's annoying. Come on, you're charging me so much money. At least send me the hardware for this stuff. This thing too, I'm like, if you have something that you have used on the past, For the amount of money that they're charging, just send it. Or even if I don't use it, at least I have a cool reference point to start with. That's about it. I'm going to start making videos now and take you guys on my journey of the Classic Mini. Let's see, hopefully by the time I'm done. Oh, those brakes, they suck. They're brand new, supposedly. On everything, I have to say supposedly because I really don't know. So if you guys want to comment, tell me what brake pads to upgrade to, or even the brakes too. These are the original ones that comes on the kit. He upgraded to the EBC green brake lines. Oh my God, they're so loud. So loud. So yeah, I need to upgrade these ones. They have the EV green. Might as well upgrade it. If you guys tell me which caliper to get and what brake pads to get rid of the squeaky noise, by all means. I have to go. I went and I retorque all the screws and started making marks on it to make sure, because nothing was screwed. Everything was hand put together. I don't know what was the point of charge that lots of money to put it together if you're going to hand tight all the parts. If I at least would have said, hey, we're charging a lot of money to present the parts, so no way you can move them around later on. No, it was assembly fee. So it is what it is. All right, guys. Thank you.